It's a battle that goes across the board, not just on the court. It's off the court. It's in the offices. It's in the classrooms. To tell you how far the rivalry extends, we were playing in an alumni game about 12 years ago in Wisconsin at the old field house, and we had a lot of guys come in for it. Lucas was here, and a number of guys were in town, and they had a lot of players there too. And Hank Raymonds was coaching our team. Mike Dean was the assistant, and they had, I think, Paulus was coaching their team, their old coach. And the ball went out of bounds, and Hank thought it should have gone to Marquette. I mean, mind you, we're all, old, broken down, slow. We're just out there having fun. Hank thought it should have gone to Marquette. He takes his program, which he's still wrapped up in his hand like he always did, throws it on the ground and looks at me and goes, "We never get any effing calls in this place." And Mike Dean looked up at me like, "What the hell is Hank thinking about?" But the rivalry, it never ends, and the intensity is always there, whether you're distant from it, retired, or whatever. That's just, that is one thing that reflects how far that rivalry extends. I came from Pittsburgh, and so I didn't grow up in Wisconsin, and so the rivalry initially didn't mean as much to me, frankly. In the prior years, Marquette pretty much dominated that series. From, I'd say, 69 all the way up through 78, I think Marquette won every single game, so it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal to me as coming from Pittsburgh. But I'll never forget being in the locker room before that game. The coaches' talk was a little bit more intense. People were more nervous than they were typically during games. There was a feeling among alumni and the media that this was a huge game. It's a big deal, and it's not just on the basketball court. I remember recruiting rivalries. When I was a senior, we were recruiting Ricky Olson. And Rick Olson was a terrific player out of Madison, and Rick Majerus was recruiting him hard. Rick loved him, and he called to commit to Marquette, and called Rick and committed to him, and Rick called me and said, "Hey, thanks a lot for helping to recruit Ricky. He just committed to Marquette. I'm going to go up and sign him." And he, on his way from Milwaukee to Madison, Wisconsin got a hold of him, went to visit him, and he ended up changing his mind by the time Rick got up to Madison. It means a great deal. It's what this program is all about, and that we fight every day. Again, it's a smaller Catholic school. We play at a very, very high level in college basketball, the highest level in college basketball, and we're able to compete. And you're going against the big state school that's got the huge football program. It's got a large student body. It's got one of the most well-funded athletic programs in the country, and yet we can come out and compete and do very, very well against them. We won all 4 games when I was there. We won 4 straight when I was there, and I really appreciated that when I was working in Madison for 3 years. The intensity at the old field house, it was like this den where you were being fed to the lions, because they were, the verticality of the stands there, and you just couldn't hear yourself think. One of the greatest photos probably the Journal-Sentinel has ever had was the Hughes twins played for Wisconsin. Their father was in the stands right behind the scorer's table, and when Marius Lucas made a shot to beat Wisconsin at the buzzer, Al got up on the scorer's table and did the famous, two-fisted stance that he had out to the crowd, and you can see in the background Kerry Hughes' father flipping him off with the finger, and it's one of the great photos, and it really kind of symbolizes the rivalry. It's been pretty even over the last 6, 7, 8 years. It really has been made a lot better by Wisconsin's improved program. It is intense for the players, it's intense for the fans, a lot of pride is at stake, and it's always fun, but it's a lot more fun when you win.